Good afternoon and welcome to Lariat TV News Today. I'm Igor Stepchinsky.
And I'm Brenshavia Jordan. Thanks for joining us today. On Saturday, a gunman opened fire at an off-campus homecoming party hosted by some Texas A&M Commerce students near Greenville, killing 2 and injuring at least a dozen others. The next day, a vigil meant to honor the 2 slain guests was interrupted with gunfire yet again, bookending this homecoming weekend with bloodshed. Baylor's Black Student Coalition remembered these tragedies by hosting their own candlelit vigil on Fountain Mall Monday night. Students dressed in all black and prayed for all those affected by last weekend's terrible events. Special guests included President Livingstone and the First Gent and Texas A&M Commerce graduate Vinzant Phillips. All attending sang hymns and remembered anyone can be an innocent victim of senseless violence at any time.
I just think it's really important that we stick together, that we make sure that we respect one another, and that we continue to put on events like this, and that we show solidarity to other campuses, other people, other organizations, because we're nothing without each other.
Last week, we told you about Dr. Jennifer Conyard-Black and her on-campus lecture as a Robert Cherry Award finalist. Another finalist, Dr. Nancy Fickman-Dana from the University of Florida, delivered her own lecture on campus Monday evening. Dana's topic was the role of inquiry and inspired learning and how teachers can improve their teaching methods to strengthen material connections. She wants to use inquiry as a tool against teaching for the sake of test scores. One more Cherry Award finalist is expected to deliver their lecture before the grand prize of $250,000 is awarded.
Always, a popular brand for female hygiene products has been making headlines because they just made the decision to remove the Venus symbol from all packaging beginning in 2020. I dove into the Baylor community to hear the opinions on this controversial rebranding plan. Always, a popular brand for hygiene products has made a decision removing the female symbol representing femininity. The brand says this will be a way to be more inclusive and diverse. Students on Baylor's campus shared their opinion in reference to this change.
I think people have to consider that all people who consider themselves, or who are transgenders rather, they aren't just men going, transitioning to women. It's honestly the other way around.
I don't feel like it was that big of a deal, and changing it really, I guess it's nice that they were being sensitive to how other people might feel about it, but I don't think it was that drastic enough for it to have to be changed.
I think that it's a great idea to have the Always brand to allow gender-neutral pads and tampons.
I don't think that taking the female symbol off of pads, tampons, and stuff like that really does much of anything. It doesn't cost anything to anyone.
With much applause and backlash, the company is standing by its decision. The design updates will take place at the beginning of 2020.
There are countless ways that Baylor students and faculty can impact the lives of others. The One Heart Project is no exception, and the campaign aims to provide a second chance for incarcerated at-risk youth. The collegiate edition that was developed and launched at Baylor will partner with the One Heart Project to provide a healthy mentorship. The model is in the process of being developed, and students, staff, and faculty are all welcome. They are currently looking for mentors who are ready to make a difference and have multiple opportunities available to get involved. If you or someone you know is interested, email oneheartbu@baylor.edu or visit the Baylor Spiritual Life website.
A relaxing family vacation turned into an act of heroism. This summer, a Baylor student became a hero as he saved the lives of a group of swimmers caught in a dangerous riptide. On the second day of vacation, Luke Bazaldua was swimming in the Gulf Coast waters near Panama City, Florida, when he noticed panic in the water. Without hesitation, Bazaldua Eagle Scout techniques kicked in, and he was able to save those stranded swimmers, bringing them each back to shore safely.
I knew the proper way to help someone who is an exhausted swimmer. I'm supposed to kind of prop myself on my back and then rest them on my chest while kind of doing a little bit of a side stroke, so that way both of our heads can remain above water simultaneously while I can still provide the necessary power to swim them back to shore. And so being an Eagle Scout and the things I learned through Eagle Scout ingrained in me the skills that were necessary to respond to that sort of situation, because had I tried to help but not known how to help properly, chances are I would have become another victim.
Next, we have a story about an 87-year-old grandma who went viral with a video that has over 36,000 views of her dancing at the homecoming football game.
We will also hear from one man who has worked at Waco haunted houses for almost 25 years and how he has perfected the science behind the terror. All this and more after this short break.
At Baylor, our lights shine
while we push our limits
and guide the way.
At Baylor, our lights shine
as we're making connections
and making an impression
as leaders
and as part of something bigger.
Baylor's light shines around the world, but it starts in each of us. Baylor, where lights shine bright.
Baylor University is the place where lights shine bright, but one alumna's light continues to glow 66 years after she graduated. I had the pleasure of interviewing this tenacious Baylor Bear after her recent claim to internet fame during the thrilling homecoming football game. One proud Baylor alumna went viral on the internet for dancing on the top of her seat. Meet Beverly Denny, the viral internet dancing grandma, a graduate from the class of 1953.
Oh my goodness, we had such a good time. It was just such fun. I'm such a fan. I always want us to win, but it couldn't have been more exciting. You know, 2 overtimes. He's a handsome green and gold guy.
At 87 years young, she has enough Baylor spirit to fill decades of Baylor history, literally.
We had twin cubs, Topsy and Turvy, and they took them to the ball games. So I have this picture of me out in the field holding those bear cubs. I wouldn't trade that for anything, and the fact that it survived all these years was a miracle.
She remembers a time when nobody wore shorts on campus and women could only wear pants if they received pant permission.
If you were in a club and you were working on the float, you know, they were out in those big barn places where then you could wear, because you had to climb around on them.
She has witnessed the Armstrong Browning Library being built when she was a resident in Memorial Hall in 1950. She was also a trailblazer for one of Baylor's most endeared student traditions.
I was a senior in 1953, and that was the year of the first sing. I actually sang in the first sing.
Take it from Beverly herself. Baylor University lives and will live through us all, as long as we keep our chin and bear claws high up in the air.
You know, the famous words, have a care for Baylor. So I just think we all need to continue to have a care for Baylor. Too much hair now. There you are.
For Lariat TV News, I'm Igor Stepchinsky.
Vertical Ministries just celebrated their 10-year anniversary of gathering students weekly to worship and learn more about Christ. Vertical meets every week somewhere around campus, including places like the Farrell Center and Waco Hall. Those meetings range from welcoming 500 to 2,200 students on a given night, and there are about 120 volunteers who make it happen. We spoke with 2 volunteers who shared why Vertical is an integral part of Baylor's campus.
Vertical impacts the Baylor campus just by providing a space where students can come and just express their faith and meet people and be in community with one another.
Through the years, it's just been a constant, consistent place where I can just hear Jesus and be still and hang out with my people.
I just think it's a great way to start off your week. You know, Mondays usually stink. You're usually not super excited about Mondays, and I just think it's a great way to start your week just alongside other students.
It's just a big Bible study.
Baylor's Sigma Chi hosted their annual Derby Days on Tuesday through Thursday. The 3-day event encouraged sorority teams to compete and earn points in flag football, sand volleyball, and dodgeball. The winning team gets a $2,000 donation toward their philanthropy, a paid mixer with Sigma Chi, and special catering for 2 chapter meetings. Sigma Chi invited students and their pups to Fountain Mall Derby Doggies event for games, dog toys, giveaways, and a puppy adoption truck. Donations and proceeds given to Sigma Chi go directly to the Huntsman Cancer Foundation Institute for Cancer Research.
From the outside, a haunted house might seem like an easy process. Put up some frightening decorations and have actors in costumes scare people as they walk by. In reality, haunted houses are a multi-million-dollar industry, and it's a full-time job for some people. LTVN's Sarah Gill got a private tour of the Waco haunted houses and shares with us their heart behind the scary adventures.
It's spooky season, and Baylor students are looking for a Halloween scare. The Waco haunted houses just off I-35 have been around for over 30 years and have perfected the thrill.
Even if you don't know about it, just driving down the highway towards Dallas, you see the giant skull with the glowing red eyes, and you got to go, ooh, I wonder what that is. And yeah, so yeah, we get Baylor students, we get people from all over.
Michael Vinzant, who has been a part of the haunted house since he was 9 years old and is now approaching 34, explains that it's about more than just getting someone to scream.
Yeah, I mean, we're a haunted house, we're here to scare you. But at the end of the day, this is all interactive theater. You're coming in and getting a show.
All ages are welcome, and they even tone it down for the kids.
We're not just here to scare you, we're here to make you laugh, make you cry, make you scream, make you laugh at your friends when they scream, whatever we can do so that when you walk out, you're happy you took the time and spent the money to come see us.
This haunted house may put on a show, but there's a unique science behind a simple scare.
You get a sense of how to better time your scares and how to not overdo it and how to, just get the right scare to where that person is really, really scared, but not so scared that they're just, having a bad experience.
Just 20 minutes from the Baylor campus, students are also able to take part in the action.
Some of our actors have actually gone to Baylor. Some were in the theater program, so we'd have them talk to the professors in the theater department and work out a deal with them where if some of their students come out, we'll sign off on them for every night that they were out here, how long they were out here for extra credit.
The Waco haunted houses are open until November 2nd, 8 p.m. to midnight, and they're opening one special day, Friday the 13th in December. For Lariat TV News, I'm Sarah Gill.
On Tuesday, the Fit Well program hosted their third Halloween bash in the McLean Student Life Center. This festive event featured Zumba, boxing, bar, and yoga. Students were encouraged to come dressed up and ready to work out. Halloween is a fun and spirited way for the community to join together and to be festive while letting loose.
It's like a big, huge workout for people to come together. We have 3 or 4 instructors usually that will come and teach. And today's format's going to be Zumba, boxing, and bar and yoga. So it's free for all the students and faculty and staff. We want it to be a time where students can dress up. Sometimes we have Halloween and you only dress up once, right, on Halloween night. Usually we do ours a couple of days before Halloween so people can dress up twice and then just come for a great workout and then at a safe place and with great instructors. And we want everybody to show up and enjoy the program.
Classes were canceled and costumes were on. Up next, we'll take a look at how the Bears survived their Halloween night battle against West Virginia.
Drake will have all your sports updates right after this break. Stay tuned.
The best and brightest are drawn to Baylor, where those from many backgrounds with many talents shine together before casting their light outward to illuminate the world. Through transformational learning opportunities that are grounded in Christian faith and service, and research that impacts lives and communities. Baylor University, a place where lights shine bright.
Happy Friday, and it could not be happier for Baylor sports fans. Starting in football, Baylor pulled off yet another nail-biting win last night to earn their 10th straight victory. The defensive bout over West Virginia was the coldest game in McLean Stadium history, but that didn't stop the number 11 Bears from staying hot. It was a cold Halloween night on the Brazos, and Baylor survived the scare, beating West Virginia 17-14.
We have to improve, especially heading to TCU next week. But I am, as I told the guys, don't apologize for going 8-0 for winning this game. Just have to continue to improve as we try to move forward.
The story of the game was Baylor's defense that held West Virginia to 14 yards rushing and just 1 offensive touchdown.
That was a tremendous defensive game. When you hold someone in modern college football to 64 yards in one half to 219 in the game, it's really hard to do. 83 of those coming on one play, hold them to 7 points. Really proud of our defense. I thought it was a special day from them. You talk about championship mindset. They went out there and they made those stops.
The victory was thanks in part to an early fourth quarter field goal by John Mayers that pushed the score to 17-14 where it would stay for good. The Bears notably snapped a 30-game losing streak when scoring under 20 points with their first such win in 13 years. The victory also helped Baylor avoid being the 5th straight Big 12 team to be upset in the last week.
As I told them, there's a lot of teams that have had a bad loss in the last 2 or 3 weeks that would love to go back and say, oh, found a way to win it. Hey, they're saying, hey, we lost, we better get this fixed. I'm saying you guys better say, hey, we almost lost to get this fixed, but they still found a way to win.
We had to learn from this. Like, we came into the locker room and we talked about how this wasn't good enough. This was not a good Baylor football team tonight, and we need to fix that. We need to grow from it because we don't want to have that same feeling that, those teams had, and we just got to keep growing from it.
The win was Baylor's 3rd straight nail-biter at home that jolts the top 15 Bears to 8-0 and again proves their grit.
What we are is tough. Okay, what we are is we find a way to make things happen. We find a way to overcome adversity. We find a way to overcome injuries. We find a way to we are a tough group.
The Bears expect to be in the top 10 coming into their matchup next week on the road against TCU. For Lariat TV News, I'm Drake Toll. Baylor basketball is just a few days away from starting up, and Coach Kim Mulkey's Lady Bears dominated in their final tune-up before tip-off of the regular season. The Lady Bear basketball team knocked off Lubbock Christian 98-63 in an exhibition game on Wednesday night.
I feel like every game we're pushed. I respect my opponents that much, so it's good to have more players play. It was good to see Bickle on the floor. It's good to see DeGreat, continue to get better and help us. The bad part of the night is too many hand-checking fouls, but that's my fault as a coach. I allow them to do that in practice every day, and it takes game situations to break them from doing it. So hopefully we won't foul as much and have that many sitting over there by me in the first half.
The highlight of the game was Lauren Cox playing against her sister Whitney for the first time collegiately, but both played with heavy hearts in the wake of their grandfather's death.
My grandpa was just such a big supporter, and we're really sad that he couldn't be here, but we know he's got the best seat in the house now.
While the team continues to mourn with the Cox family, they also direct their attention toward their national championship ring ceremony set to take place in the home opener next Tuesday.
I saw the rings. Y'all are gonna die.
You saw them? Johnny almost ruined it.
I saw the rings.
He walked in like this.
I saw the box. Yes, you're so right.
Oh, they're nice. You need to come see them.
I'm so excited.
For Lariat TV News, I'm Drake Toll. The Bear volleyball team is back on track after recording a pair of wins this week, defeating West Virginia in Waco last Saturday and Oklahoma in Norman on Wednesday. The Bears snuck past the Sooners in their first 5-set match of the season 3-2, with several Bears providing solid contributions. Yassiana Presley had a game-high 19 kills, with Shelly Stafford and Gia Milana recording 10 and 8 respectively. Hannah Locken boasted a whopping 32 assists in the bout. The Bears will be back in the Farrell Center this Sunday to host Iowa State at 4 o'clock. We move on over to the soccer pitch, where the Bears made a trip to Stillwater on Thursday night to take on the 12th-ranked Oklahoma State Cowgirls in their final Big 12 regular season match. Despite outshooting OSU 16-13, the Bears dropped the match 3-0 thanks to goals in the 7th, 10th, and 74th minutes. The Bears finished their regular season with an overall record of 8-7-3 and a Big 12 record of 4-5. They now turn their attention to the Big 12 championship in Kansas City, where they're set to take on Texas Tech at 5:30 Sunday in round 1. The men's and women's cross-country teams will be in action at the Big 12 Championship meet in Waco Saturday. The event will begin at 10 a.m. at the Cottonwood Creek Golf Course, and admission is free for all fans. Gabby Satterley and TJ Sugg led the women's and men's teams respectively in their last meet in mid-October and are prepared to lead their squads into the biggest meet to date. Both teams are eyeing trips to the South Central Regional Championships in Fayetteville following this weekend's race. Baylor junior Shevann Law capped off a huge week on Monday by winning singles on the last day of the ITA Texas Regional Championships at the Hurd Tennis Center here in Waco. Law started off the week as the 7th-seeded player in the tournament and the 44th-ranked player in the country, but he went on to rack up 6 wins and no losses for the weekend, including a win over Texas A&M's 45th-ranked Valentine Vachereau in the championship final. The victory qualified Law for the ITA Fall National Championships, set to take place November 6th through 10th at Indian Wells, California. And that's your look at Baylor sports this week. Thanks for watching Lariat TV News.
Watch us on YouTube, BaylorLariat.com, or the Waco City Channel.
Have a nice weekend, and we'll see you next week. Have a great day, Baylor Nation.